You don't think that they are innocent after all, because if they were never innocent, I still want to look at us, kickstarting some of these provisions in the Constitution when they lose immunity after service. So if we still wouldn't want to take that up, it means that some of these are all, politics, or trying to witch hunt this person while in office.
You mean...
Or does it mean that the facts disappear when they leave office?
No, it goes back to that apathy that we all have, all of us. It goes back to that apathy, that sense of indifference. When they come out of office, nobody continued to say, look, this and that. I don't want to name names, but it don't look good for our democracy. It just weakens the structures. It makes the whole thing look laughable. You know, I mean, if we have a situation nobody is held accountable for anything, what do you think that somebody coming in would do? No, it's just mere human nature. Yeah.
But they are held accountable. It's just that the people, for instance, now look at the cases that the ex-governors have. It's been dragging in the court for a while, so it's not that they can't face prosecution. So shouldn't we be focusing on improving the system and making it a lot more efficient than focusing on, because even if you remove the immunity and they are liable for prosecution, they still face the same system that their predecessors have faced, and the cases are dragging for this long.
I totally agree with you. But it's a holistic approach. You don't leave immunity to hold them after, or you hold them during immunity and leave them after. It's a holistic approach. The whole system is flawed. You are held accountable. I remember the late Dara Akunyele, when she was asked, what's the secret of your success in NAFDAC? You know, and she said, I think it was New York Times or Wall Street Journal, and she looked around and she said, I employed the tool of shame. I shame them. You know, if I run into those men that were involved in an illegal or fake drug or something, I shame them, I expose them, and they'll come and say, Madam, I'll cooperate. So we have to bring back certain level of this thing for those that still have a sense of shame, because some of them don't, you know, so that we can use that tactics to say, look, if you're in the office and you're doing this can be very disruptive for you. First of all, if you know you are not ready to take the heat, don't go near the fire. A call to service. This is a call to service. You are not compelled to be a governor or deputy governor. So if you don't have your act together, don't just get to be a governor.
What do you think about autonomy for local governments?
I listened to the previous guest, and I'm not a politician. I don't want to sound political, but it's a straight up this thing. And we have benefit of hindsight. We can look at what's going on, where we were, where we are now, and then try to figure out where we're going. The same people we give immunity are the same people that are fighting autonomy for local government. And at all relevant times, we live in a rentier economy, whereby, like, I disagree with some of his views, respectfully, and with all due respect. We live in a rentier economy. It's not like American system, you know. Uncle Sam don't do any business, don't collect any money and start sharing. We live in a rentier economy where we get revenue from our natural resources, and then we allocate to the states, and then every month it's almost certain that it's coming. That puts the federal government directly involved. They make them involved with the local level. You don't just say, you go and collect money, give it to me at the state level, then I give to them. What is good for the geese is good for the gander. And these are the people that are very close to the grassroots. These are the people that, as a matter of fact, some of the blame for the federal government and sometimes the state or this present administration, some of the blames are misdirected. The federal government didn't do this, the federal government didn't do that. You have local government. But because of the loophole in the system, in the constitutional provision, this is being exploited by some of the leaders that should do better for their people. And this is what they're trying to address. And I don't see why anybody should oppose it. I mean, a sincere governor will say, well, there's another issue. I have my security vote. If I'm working as a lawyer or whatever profession you have, how much would I have made in a year? That security vote is enough for you to concentrate and work for the people.
Depending on how much it is. Because some of them don't tell how much it is.
We don't know. We don't know. That one is there. It's a topic for another day. Now, you have the security vote, and then you want to control the state, the local government resources. If the intent and purpose is right, a governor, because some local government officials can be very disrupting, honestly. So it's not every local government administration that is there to work. Some of the most corrupt, this thing you find is in that local government level. Some of the things they donate from World Bank or World Health Organization, you go to local government, it's done there.
But some state governors also say that, look, these funds that we're talking about, most of them are not even enough for the local governments, that they, the governors, augment the funds for the local governments.
That's why they're elected. Let me go back to US once again. In America, there's something they call basic economic, certain economic level that a state will have. You can't compare Mississippi with New York or California. California at one time was the 9th largest economy in the world, and it's a state. So if you're a leader and you mean well, you look at your local government, you know the ones that has the ability to generate IGR. You know the ones that has more concentration maybe to deal with the populace. You know, dealing with all kinds of things. So all local governments are not created equal. So you balance it, but it's not an excuse that you must be the one that will be giving the money to share them. Meanwhile, you are not actually a cent, if I may use that term.
You know, talking about cost of governance, which we've always talked about, even the government has also recognized that. But we're getting to see a new one here. And it says that's section 147, subsection 3. Mm-hmm. Compulsorily now, every state shall have at least one minister in the Federal Executive Council, even though we've actually been seeing that now this one is still very much there. So every state. So if we have to create more states, we'll have to create more ministries or somehow to tally with this provision of the Constitution.
Well, Suleiman, let me tell you, some of the things we do just don't rhyme with our utterances. Creating more bureaucracy and more. Granted, democracy is very expensive, but there's also a report that indicates that Africans practice catastrophic government or governance. Very expensive. We spend almost 80 kobo out of 1 naira on governance.
You mean both the presidential and parliamentary system of governance?
Governance. Governance, period, in this part of the world. And I don't know why we should create more bureaucracy. The campaign in America or somewhere else, Ronald Reagan would tell, I will make sure I trim down the government. I'll get the government off your back. I will make sure we reduce the power of government and shrink it. Here we're bloating it. We're getting bigger.
Don't you think that those who don't like the way it's working have an opportunity to make it right with the provision of the independent candidacy?
Yeah, independent candidacy, I looked at it. It's a very good idea. It will address some, basically, it will raise a voice of reason, or it will raise voices of reason, because you can fundamentally disagree with the two parties, the two established parties in Nigeria, APC, and then PDP. You can say, I don't agree with their ideology and their views. I have my views. There are things I feel very strongly about. Ralph Nader in the US.
I hope he's not contesting again.
Well, I don't know, but if he is, he always somehow holds their feet to the fire, and he serves a great purpose. So he's into this consumer protection environment, and he believes that the two parties are not addressing it fundamentally. So he always veer off and contest as an independent. I'm yet to see a Nigerian that will stand up and say, look, this is what I stand up. There are some of them, but their voices are drowned. But with independent, they can come out.
But if they have to do it for the presidency, don't you think it's going to be a long shot? Because look at that, Ralph Nader, the likes of Ross Perot, the Texas billionaire. What impact did they make? They
made a lot of impact.
In terms of
a lot of impact.
Did they make those?
Let me tell you something. Some people still blame Ralph Nader for Al Gore losing the election, because most of his supporters kind of tilt towards the Democrats. The Republicans, they have their own Ralph Nader too. They're always coming and so if you want Ralph Nader to go away, you call Ralph Nader and incorporate some of his views and ideologies in your manifesto and your listing going forward. You don't just wave him off. That's what independent candidates would do in Nigeria. You don't just, and especially if he's popular, if he's saying what people want to hear. And of course, when Nigerians stop selling their votes for stipends and rice and other things, then independent candidates can raise the tempo.
Will you give it a shot, for instance, at any level, local, state, federal?
No, I'm not a politician that would want to.
Why not? You should test the waters.
I want to stay on the side and shape public policy and opinion and see if we can get out of this quagmire.
All right, then. Chris Maduka is a public affairs analyst. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're back after this. We've got another perspective on the same matter. Join us again.